If you are wondering, what the heck are Instagram guides? Should I even be making these guides? How can I get access to this feature if my account doesn't already have it? We're going over all of that and more in this video. What's up everyone, it's Modern Millie. Welcome back to my channel where I post videos every Wednesday teaching you the latest strategies and trends on social media. So give a little love tap on that subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest tips and tricks that I have for you. First, I want to say a huge thank you to this video's shoutouts. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. So if you want to get a shout out in one of my future videos, screenshot yourself watching this video and tag me on Instagram stories, or leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel. As always, timestamps will be in the comments down below because I know how valuable your time is and you already know why you're here, so let's get into it. If you've been living on another planet or under a rock and you're not aware, Instagram has released their biggest update yet. We thought the big change was going to be Instagram Reels, but boy, were we wrong. If you're looking for a Reels tutorial, make sure to check out my YouTube video in the card above. Anyway, so the design of the Instagram app has completely changed, along with many new functionalities that we were not prepared for. The newest feature that I'm going to be going over today is Instagram Guides. Instagram Guides has been slowly rolling out and being tested on certain accounts before it went global. If you do not have access to this feature yet, stick around because I'll be showing you a trick for how you can get it on your account. What are Instagram Guides? This is a new tool that allows anyone to share their favorite products, places, or posts in the most beautiful editorialized way on Instagram. This basically means that users now have the ability to create a long-form text content in a dedicated tab on Instagram. Think of them almost like blog posts. They give off very Pinteresty vibes, if you will. Instagram's goal with Instagram Guides was to make it easier for users to find, curate, and share certain products, places, and posts. They also want their users to stay on their platform longer. So by creating a blog-like content option, instead of having their users direct their followers to their website or blog, they can now direct their followers to a guide, overall making the Instagram app more successful. Before I jump into the visual tutorial using a screen recording on my phone, I want to know what you guys think about the Instagram update. What do you guys think about it? Where do you think Instagram is going to take this in the future? So now to create any sort of new piece of content, the quickest way to do that is using the plus button in the top right, almost middle of your iPhone, this plus icon right here. But as you can see, there's nowhere to do a guide. So you have to go to your profile, then press the plus button, and then you have more options for creating content there. So from your profile, top right-hand corner, plus sign. You could then, in the bottom, you see guides. So that is what you would select. For those of you who are thinking, I don't have Instagram Guides on my account. I don't have that option. What do I do? What you can do is go to an account that has an Instagram guide already on it. As you're watching, or by the time you're watching this video, I will have guides on my Instagram, so you can go to mine and use this hack there. You're gonna go to an account that already has Instagram Guides, and the Guides tab is the little newspaper. Click on that, and when you open one of their guides, scroll to the very bottom and you'll see this option that says Create Guide. By clicking this option or by clicking this button, you will then be able to have, or you'll force almost, this feature onto your account. So that is how you can create a guide if you don't have that option already. We are just gonna do it the good old classic guide way. And the three options that they present to you are places, products, and posts. When you are creating a guide, you can think of it more like a list of recommendations. So when you click places, you can choose a place, and then you're able to select photos that have tagged this location and create a guide based off of those photos. You could also go to your saved photos or your own posts to create a place guide. For products, you can search through different brands' products. I believe it starts with brands that you're already following, but you could search for a specific brand and then select products that they have listed. Right now, I'm really loving Iris and Bo's skincare line, so I can make like my skincare routine guide and select all of the face products that I use for my skincare routine and create a guide solely on that alone. And then posts. And then you could create a guide, like I said, with all of your posts. Now, what I suggest doing if you're going to create a guide based off of your post, if you're somebody like me who already has a bunch of captions written, I would first start by going through your feed and saving your posts into its own folder. When you save a photo, you can save to a collection. And right here, you see all of my guide ideas. So these are going to be guides. So I'm gonna do a Vegas guide, a Palm Springs guide, Instagram basics guide. I also want to do like this photo is very motivation. So I could create one called entrepreneur newer motivation guide. Save. And then when I'm ready to create my guide and publish it, I'll go to posts, saved, and then at the top where it says all saved, there's an arrow and it'll actually pull up all of your saved collections or your saved folders. So that's like the quickest way to be able to create a guide. Right now, I think the guide that I'm going to create is let's do the Vegas guide. I'll select all these photos, next. And then you could add a title, you could change the cover. I think I want my cover to be Insta worthy. My goodness. Wow. Places to shoot in Vegas. And then you put a description in your titles and descriptions. If you're not already familiar with SEO or like keyword research, then I highly suggest you start looking into it, because rumor has it, or people have been talking about the fact that Instagram might be making their search bar in the Explorer or in their Explorer a little bit more SEO friendly. So in the future, you might not even have to have hashtags to be discovered. As long as you're using keywords or searchable terms within your captions, titles, descriptions, your content could pop up. And then you could add a title and a description to each post. So when you click next, there's a few options that you could do. So you could preview it. So this is what your followers or anybody who comes across this guide would see. This is exactly what it would look like. So very simple. Maybe in the description, when I go back, I could add like the addresses to each of these spots and a little bit descriptions about where to find them or tips on how to get there to make it more kind of blog friendly. And then you could save it as a draft or share. Now I'm gonna share this one, boop, publishing. And now I have the guides tab in my Instagram. Another thing to mention, when you post your guide, you can still edit it afterwards. So it's okay if there's, I guess, an error or mistake, but if you wanted to go back and add more posts, say I go back to Vegas and I find more places to shoot, I can come back and edit this specific guide and keep adding places to shoot there. Like you can see at the bottom, it says add posts, so I could always keep adding more. To keep going a little further, in the top right corner, the 3 dots, these are a few options. You could delete the guide, edit guide, copy link, so that you could maybe link this guide on your website or send the link to other people and even share. So if I wanted to share this guide, I could add it to my story, change the background, boom. I could do something like that if I wanted to share the guide with my followers. That's pretty much the basics of a guide, how to post a guide. A really cool thing that's important to note is if I do have a guide from a little bit ago, like this one, if I had posted this, say 2 months ago, and then I visited Vegas again and wanted to add more posts, I do that and it'll show to your followers right here. You see last updated 9 seconds ago. It'll show to your followers that even though the guide was posted like say 3 months ago, it'll show your followers the most recent edit. So it's basically telling people that you are staying up to date on these certain topics. And I think that's something that's really valuable because people want the most new, current, and valuable information out there as opposed to reading a guide that was maybe published a year ago, etc., etc. Another thing that's important to note is when you publish a guide, it actually does not post in your feed. So we know that Reels, you have the option to post in feed versus just your Reels tab, whereas guides, you don't have that option. As of right now, guides go directly to the guides tab and they do not post on your feed. I've heard that this is actually a really great way to be discovered, is creating product guides. I did listen to a live teaching from somebody at Instagram, and they pinpointed, or they focused on the product guide being the guide that's probably the easiest to be found with. And this is because product guides are now being shown in the shop tab on the bottom of your Instagram. So if you go to the shop tab, it'll show more than just specific items from specific brands. It'll also show Instagram guides. So if I make a product guide like 10 holiday gifts to give your significant other, or 10 really great stocking stuffer ideas. If I create a product guide like that, that product guide can get featured on this shop tab and people who are not following me can see that product guide. Does that make sense? I'm not sure the algorithm of how that works or how they choose which guide to present to people yet because this is so fresh, but that was something that they talked about in the Instagram live teaching that I watched. Okay, so now that we went over the basic tutorial, visual tutorial of guides, what it looks like on your phone, the basics of posting a guide and editing a guide, I want to answer a few important questions when it comes to Instagram guides. The first question that you might be wondering is, why should I create guides? Great question, and I have 3 good answers for you. The first one is to be favored by the algorithm. We already know that the more functionalities that you use, that Instagram offers to you, the more Instagram will actually favor your account when it comes to algorithm. Guides are or will be another new way to discover, especially if the rumors are true that Instagram is going to be expanding their SEO and search capabilities within their app. This is something that you might want to hop on ahead of the game, because when those changes start to shift, maybe hashtags won't matter as much. I don't know, things can get crazy. We don't know. The third one is, if you're a multi-passionate person like me, I think this is so perfect for you, especially for somebody who is like a lifestyle blogger and somebody who has a hard time pinpointing their niche or niche. I think it's important to, of course, pinpoint your niche/niche, just because that helps you grow a lot faster if you have this specific thing that you talk about. But now you're able to kind of highlight those different avenues that you're passionate about within guides. If you're a lifestyle blogger and you love fashion, food, interior decor, coffee, and you love a wide variety of things, I think it's almost like you have a mini website on your Instagram. So if you're a multi-passionate person, I think this is a great way to kind of categorize and organize your passions in a editorial way. So the next question you might be wondering is, how will creating guides benefit me? I think we all know that right now, like, the pressure is on you to post consistently and be on top of things, because the bookshelf life for a photo is like 24 hours. And I just mean, when you post a photo, people only see it for about 24, maybe 48 hours until they forget about it and they never go back to that piece of content ever again. Whereas on YouTube, the bookshelf life of a video can go on for years. So you could look up something in a video from 5 years ago, might get suggested to the top. So that's a really long bookshelf life. Instagram's bookshelf life for content is 24 hours or sometimes more. Not often. And now with Instagram guides, it's a really great way to repurpose your content. So for example, like me, I have posts that I did a year ago or more where it's talking about the basics of Instagram. I have to keep recycling and reposting, and now instead of reposting that content, I could just repurpose them within guides in an organized way where I could just say, hey, Instagram 101, everything you need to know to start on Instagram. And they could go and look through my posts, which reminds me, when you have a guide, you can actually reorganize and reorder the order of the photos in the guide. So if you had posts, it doesn't have to be in order of when you posted them, like oldest to newest. I can organize it by however I want. So you go to any of the posts and click the 3 dots, and you can reorder the posts. So if I want the Paris Hotel to be second, it doesn't matter how long ago I posted these photos in my feed, I can arrange them however I want within my guide. The last question is, like, what should you be putting within your guides? And honestly, the options are endless. If you're somebody who already has your branding figured out, then I would suggest creating guides based off of your brand pillars. So for example, my brand is It's Modern Millie. Under It's Modern Millie, I have 5 different topics that I rotate talking about that are all still related to my niche or niche. I keep saying it both ways because no matter which way I say it, I get haters. So I'm saying it both ways. You can't hate anymore. So for example, my niche/niche is social media or online educator social media tips, tricks. That's like a very broad one. But under that, I could talk about Instagram growth hacks, YouTube growth hacks, entrepreneur mindset, how to organize your business, and working with brands. These are like the 5 topics that I will rotate talking about, and now I can create guides per each of those topics. I think maybe start thinking about it that way. If you're really feeling uninspired, just go to Pinterest, because guides are basically like Pinterest now. You could go to Pinterest, you see a post, click on it, and there it's like, it gives you all of the content you could ever want. I'm gonna create more in-depth videos about Instagram guides. So if you guys have any specific questions about guides, or if you want more in-depth info for what content to put in your guides or how to do XYZ with Instagram guides, let me know down in the comments below, because I take your guys' suggestions, and that's how I make these videos. Somebody suggested to do a tutorial on Instagram guides. I'm here, I'm doing it for you, and I'd love to hear what more you would like to know about Instagram guides. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. If you made it this far and you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification turned on to stay up to date on all of my latest videos that I post. And if you have not already, give the little thummy guy a little thumbs up. The thumbs up guy, give him a little tap. He's cute. And I will see you guys in the next one. Follow your joy. Bye.